Clobberin Time.
Let's talk about Joe Joyce. Joe Joyce fought Joseph Parker over the weekend in the UK. Dominated the fight, 11th round knockout. He looked fantastic. Rhett, what was your take on Joe Joyce's performance?
Yeah, he looked fantastic. I mean, Joe Joyce was looked at probably as an outlier in the popular conversation, right? This guy's coming up, but he's not the opponent that everybody's thinking about because he wasn't hitting those certain buttons for certain people in terms of popular narrative. Now he's come out. He's still doing his thing undefeated. He does his thing against Joseph Parker. Looks great. Joseph Parker says he was the best opponent out of all, especially when it comes to Anthony Joshua, Andy Ruiz. So that's a major statement. People respect Joseph Parker. This guy's acumen is there, and we know he's a real opponent. Plus, he was training with Tyson Fury, and everybody respects Tyson Fury because he's that guy in heavyweight boxing, not named Alexander Usyk, obviously. But Joe Joyce looks great, and I think now, because we just kind of went through all these iterations of the heavyweight division and seeing what was going to happen with it after, Anthony Joshua and Usyk, and after Deontay Wilder, obviously, and Tyson Fury, and not even knowing if Deontay was coming back, now I think we're really starting to winnow down what the heavyweight landscape looks like, obviously on the top levels, but Joe Joyce now, as an outlier, has now become part of the bigger conversation, in my opinion.
So here's the thing about Joe. He's 37. Some cats are out here is like, oh, he's new blood in the heavyweight division. Ain't nothing new about Joe Joyce. He's been around the block a few times.
That's a fact.
Which means, he's not an old 37. He's a relatively young 37. But
that's true.
What do you do with him? Right now, he dominates. He's the first person to knock out Joseph Parker. You look at the heavyweight division. We're going to talk about Fury and Joshua in a little bit. But we know Alexander Usyk's targeting a fight with Tyson Fury. Even though Joyce will be his mandatory, that's not going to happen next. Where do you put Joe Joyce? He's got to fight in the first quarter or the first half of next year, but who do you put him up against?
Well, first of all, we know that this guy started boxing late, right? So even though he started boxing late, we got to give him that credit because starting to box in your 20s, especially in a division like the heavyweights, look, I give this man a lot of props for, number one, staying undefeated and the kind of caliber of fighters he's had of late. He also does have a medal in the Olympics. This man went to Rio. So even though his age is a factor, I got to put him in the Luis Ortiz category, right? With the fuzzy math of the age on that level. But the performance is there, period.
Right.
Where people know this guy gets down and he bangs. Who does he fight next? It's a great question, man. Obviously everybody wants to see if Alexander Usyk and Fury will ever do that. Of course, we know how Fury is. He gets frustrated. He gets furious, so to speak, when things don't go correctly. Clearly, we know he's trying to set up Anthony Joshua first and all the shenanigans and the politics with the contracting. But, I got to say this, man. With Deontay coming back, I know he just said something ridiculous about wanting a fourth fight with Fury. Don't do it. But,
right.
37 years old, Deontay needs something, a nice bounce back after Helenius on the 15th. I mean, I would like to see a Deontay situation. I actually wouldn't be mad at this. I mean, we're talking if the age is really a factor. He did it to Andy Ruiz. Luis Ortiz. So, hey, listen, what is it? Because it ain't going to be Tyson Fury.
No, it's not. I mean, look, man, Joe Joyce has those intangibles too. He's 6'6". Yes. He's got the measurements. He's got an 80.5-inch reach. He comes forward. He throws a lot of punches. I mean, he's not. The crazy thing about it is when you look at him, what would Floyd Mayweather say? Straight up and down, no special effects, right?
That's right.
The footwork's not crazy. Doesn't have great defense, but he can take a punch and he can give one back and he can hurt people. Deontay Wilder fight sounds good to me. I would like to see that fight happen. If Deontay going to fight Anthony Joshua, I'd like to see Deontay and Joe Joyce get it on. I'd like to see Deontay go to the UK for a fight as well. I'd like to see how that would turn out.
Thank you. And I think Deontay, just like Clarissa Shields, needs to feel that love. You and I both know the UK fans are a whole different animal. These folks come out, they treat everything like a soccer match. They're chanting, it's big things are going on. And I think that Deontay, based on his fights with Fury and the fact that the last fight he went out on his shield, so to speak, as he wanted, earned him a lot of respect over there. I think also when it comes to financial gains, the better bag for Deontay is in the UK. I mean, to be quite honest, and I've always had a point of contention with this, America has never truly owned Deontay Wilder as its heavyweight champion when he had the WBC belt. Like, we never celebrated this guy a la Mike Tyson, a la Vander Holyfield. We never did. We know he's not from a top 10 market. He's from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. The biggest thing over there is Nick Saban. But at the same time, Deontay is that guy. And when he had the right hand of God knocking everybody out, we still never gave him what he deserved. In fact, when Tyson came over here and fought Deontay, I felt like the fan tide turned towards Tyson in America.
Right.
I feel like Deontay needs to mimic the same thing over in the UK. And I think he's going to actually have a lot more longevity and brevity over there, to be honest. I think they just respect his gangster over there.
So let's hypothesize for a second. Joe Joyce could take a punch. Granted,
Yes.
Joseph Parker ain't the biggest puncher in the heavyweight division, but
Facts.
he took a lot of punches clean.
Yeah.
Joe Joyce said he went on. He did an interview and he said, he'd like to test his chin against Deontay Wilder. All right, if Deontay Wilder catches Joe Joyce flush, what happens?
Woo! You know, in the past, I would have said it's night-night. But Tyson Fury starting to disprove this night-night theory. Don't get me twisted. Tyson Fury is a special specimen of fighter. Period. You know, this literally is the guy, the prototype guy of that Brad Pitt played in the movie Snatch, right? This is a straight-up gypsy street fighting legend who comes from a lineage of street fighters. So he's a whole nother beast. Don't get me twisted. I still believe he got a 12 count in the okay, we're going but at the same time, what he did show was that you can survive and get up from a Deontay Wilder furious blow. Pun intended. So I'm saying that to say Joe Joyce has shown that he can take it. Deontay's a special kind of individual when it comes to this right hand. Does he get up or not? I give him 50-50, man. I can't, I hate to be on the fence like this and not give it definitive, but I got to give him 50-50. There's something in that UK water, Andreas. I don't know.
I don't know either, man. The Juggernaut he's a big dude, could take a punch, but man, there's a big, wide gap between getting hit by Joseph Parker, getting hit by Deontay Wilder.
Big wide gap.